This week in Madden.
Can Aaron Rodgers beat his former team? Can Micah Parsons keep it rolling after 3 sacks? Can the Chiefs keep pounding after 2 straight wins? Will the Commanders be able to bounce back after 2 embarrassing losses? Let's see what Madden has to say. Alrighty guys, welcome back to another episode of ZA Productions. Today we are going to be having Madden 26 predict week 8 of the NFL season. So heading back over to our franchise where Madden has predicted every single game. Not looking great, although Madden did have a solid outing, 9-6 last week, I believe. I went 11-4 in my predictions. I had some predictions I just flat out sold on. I mean, like, taking the Texans over the Seahawks. I don't know what I was thinking. Alrighty, so looking at week 8, it looks like we have some really odd matchups, just matchups that just don't look right. So, starting off, you have the Dolphins and the Falcons meeting up. Not a really matchup you always think of, and just a weird one to envision. You also have the Jets and the Bengals, which just feels like a weird matchup as well. The Cowboys and Broncos matchup definitely feels weird, but reminds me of like a Peyton Manning-led team versus a Tony Romo. But the Bills and Panthers, and then the Niners and Texans, some just odd matchups this week, so yeah. But before we get to simming, I just want to show some of the stats, because I really haven't shown much of what Madden's been predicting. So yeah, we obviously don't really have injuries up to date on this franchise, but it does have Joe Burrow having like an MVP type year again, and then also Brock Purdy. So 2 injured quarterbacks popping off according to Madden, and I would say this is pretty realistic. They also have King Henry atop the running backs in terms of rushing yards. I mean, like by a wide margin too, by almost 150 yards. So pretty impressive. Also impressive, James Conner having 565 yards. Wow, heading over to receivers, this is kind of weird. Brandon Ayuk with 726 yards, and by a wide margin, he is the #1 receiver. 10 touchdowns. I mean, like, you only wish, just considering what's happened to the Niners so far. Up to this point, Micah Parsons has 14 sacks. That is 2 sacks per game. That is maybe one of the craziest stat lines I've ever seen. In terms of offensive rankings, we would have, a solid top 3 for the most part, with the Titans being a clear outlier. Don't understand that one at all. I mean, like, that is kind of weird. So you got the Bengals, Niners, and then the Titans. It's like that one dragon meme or whatever. Like, there's 2 that are looking really tough, and then you got that one, like, dummy-looking one. That's the Titans. I don't understand that. In terms of defense, it's the Packers and everyone else. Rightfully so. The Packers have an insane defense. But yeah, without further ado, let's get to predicting these games. But heading over to Sunday Night Football, we'd have the Steelers facing off against the Packers. So it'd be Aaron Rodgers' homecoming, and it'd be awful for the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers as they'd be getting blown out 34-3. Unbelievable by the Packers. But Aaron Rodgers would try to redeem himself and get a check down right here with 1:30 left. Try and get things going. He'd rush out the pocket, pick up a couple yards, but ultimately he would just get blown out 34-3 in prime time. So hopefully that's not the result. But heading over to Monday Night Football in Arrowhead Stadium, we'd have Mahomes and his boys going against Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. And this one would turn out to be a boring one to begin the game. I mean, like in the second quarter, it'd be tied at 0. But Mahomes and Kelsey would do what Mahomes and Kelsey do best and hook up for a touchdown right before halftime, putting him up 7-0 over Jaden Daniels on Monday night. And then you get tied, and then Travis Kelsey again with another touchdown to put him up with 3:11 in the fourth quarter, and they'd be up by a touchdown. And ultimately, Jaden Daniels would come out on the field, and on a 3rd and 5, he's going to go back and back and back. He gets sacked by George Karlaftis and Chris Jones. Scary to see those guys. And then Jaden Daniels would toss it up towards the end zone. Incomplete. Deebo Samuel just couldn't make a play, and Trent McDuffie would end up being the playmaker there with a huge deflection. I mean, like, you cannot tell me that's the play of the game. And the Chiefs would walk out with a win on Monday night, and much needed to help them out. But let's check out what Madden has to say about the rest of these games. Alrighty, so kicking it off on Thursday night, we have the Vikings and the Chargers, and honestly, a weird game. I mean, like, Chargers came back in the fourth quarter, that's for sure. Do I think this will happen? Maybe, probably. Honestly, I don't know. The Chargers have been looking like the Chargers as of lately, so we'll see. Alrighty, in our toilet bowl matchup of the week, we got the Jets and the Bengals. This is very realistic in my opinion. I think Joe Flacco will torch his former team. And Madden predicts that the Giants will get the best of the Eagles for the 2nd time this season. And a clean sweep. Could happen. I'm not saying it won't. I think this Giants team is looking legit, but blowing a lead like that, allowing 33 points in the fourth quarter last week is pretty impressive. Patriots killing the Browns. I mean, like, it's realistic enough. I think the Patriots are legit. Drake May is jumping in MVP odds. I think this Patriots team is going to be a contender for the #1 seed and maybe a Super Bowl contender come January. We have the 49ers blowing out the Texans. Honestly, I think it will probably happen. CJ Stroud is a fraud in my opinion, and I believe in this Niners team with their coaching. And in Lamar Jackson's return to the field, the Bears will kill him. I mean, like, is this realistic? Hell no. The Bears are a good team with Ben Johnson. They're not good enough to be a Lamar Jackson's led Raven team. The Bills will beat the Panthers according to Madden. I think this is also a solid prediction. I don't think this is unrealistic at all. I think a 14-point game is pretty realistic between these two, but I think the Panthers could definitely pull this one out. The Falcons bounce back after a tough loss on Sunday night. Realistic enough. I don't think this is really that unfair to the Falcons. I think it'll be a bigger margin of victory for sure, but realistic, yeah, I would say so too. It's looked awful, and surprised he's not cut by now. And Madden has the Buccaneers beating the Saints. What is new? I mean, like, this is definitely really realistic. One score game between these two, I don't know, but I do think Kellen Moore is a genius and is probably one of the most underrated head coaches in the league. He's making Spencer Rattler look really solid, so that's my take, but yeah, I'd say the Saints are definitely going to lose this one. And Daniel Jones continues the MVP campaign. Obviously, I think it's Anthony Richardson starting, but either way, they're going to find a way to win, and I think it'll probably be a greater margin of victory. The Colts team is looking too good right now. And in one of the most Dallas Cowboys fashions, they lose to the Broncos. Yeah, this is probably going to happen. I'm going to laugh when it does. I love seeing the Cowboys lose, and there's nothing like it, so they're definitely going to find a way to lose this one. I mean, like, this is a game the Cowboys should win, but they're going to lose it. Brian Schottenheimer is a good head coach in my opinion, but not good enough. Broncos will definitely bounce back and probably start out strong for the first time in like 3 weeks. Based off current records and everything, this was by far Madden's worst prediction, without a doubt, on Sunday night. And this was Madden's best prediction by a mile. I mean, like, I don't know how you can tell me this is not realistic. Alrighty, guys, that will do it for this episode of Madden Predicting Week 8. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you guys enjoyed this, please like and subscribe and stay up to date with more uploads in the future. I'll be back in a week, and we're going to be predicting Week 9 of the season. I mean, like, look at this slate of games. Can't complain. So stay tuned, and I'll catch you guys in another one. Peace out.